Hey everybody, Andrew Edwards here from GearLive.com, and today we're going to be bringing you our definitive, thorough iPad review. The new iPad, obviously, we're focusing on, that was just released. I have one here. There it is. We are basically showing you all the new stuff about it, all the stuff that Apple focused on during the event, the Apple event where they introduced this thing. Things like the Retina display, which you're not even going to be able to tell that it's a high resolution display through this, because this is a 1080p camera, or I think I'm actually using a 720p camera, and this display is way higher than that, so there's no way you're gonna be able to get that point across. But we'll do our best to explain to you why it's important and what it means. Aside from the Retina display, we've got quad-core graphics inside the new iPad. So we're going to give you a demo of some of the things that quad-core graphics chip can do, mostly focusing on games. So we're going to show you a few fun games you can play that they're fun to play, but they also are visually striking thanks to both the Retina display and the quad-core graphics chip in there. 4G LTE is another big one. This is the first Apple product actually to ship with LTE built in. And so we're going to give you a speed test, basically showing off, comparing it to my home Wi-Fi network. And here I have Fios. So I have a home connection of 35, so that's 35 megabits up, 35 megabits down. We're going to compare that to 4G LTE and see how it stacks up, and show you how fast the internet will be when you're cruising around in a 4G LTE neighborhood with the new iPad. It's actually very impressive. And lastly, one of the smaller features, but still fun, is Dictation. Dictation is a feature that allows you to basically speak to the iPad and have it transcribe what you're saying, it's convenient. It's not perfect, but it's definitely more convenient though to dictate to the iPad and then fix any of the small errors than it is to sit here typing on this keyboard. So we're going to show you all those things and give you our general thoughts, our review wrap-up, if you will, on the new iPad when all said and done. So get yourself a glass of water or something and sit tight, because we have a lot to go through, and we'll be doing that right after this. Okay, so we've got the third generation iPad here. FaceTime camera up front, what they're now calling an iSight camera up on back, which one can record in 1080p and can take 5 megapixels. So basically the same camera sensor that was found in the iPhone 4, not the upgraded one found from the iPhone 4S. A little thicker, tiny bit thicker than the iPad 2. It's really negligible, hard to tell. It's got a Retina display, which unfortunately you won't be able to tell on the video, because the video that we're recording is going to be 1080p, but the iPad display is way higher than that. So it's almost like taking a standard def camera and recording a high definition TV, and you're not going to be able to see the high definition content in that video. So Retina display, there's a lot of Retina optimized apps by now already. Things like Tweetbot, great app for Twitter, way better than in my opinion, than the standard Twitter app. You get the nice graphics. There you can see all that. Again, it's not going to come across as it should in a video like this. Safari, if you visit apple.com, Apple actually serves Retina graphics to the iPad 3. So you zoom in, and you can see, look at the skin there. This is actually a graphic that is way high resolution. Serving directly to the iPad 3, you won't get the same level of detail if you went to apple.com from a Mac. They're not going to serve this high resolution image, or serve a standard resolution image. Plenty of apps take advantage of the Retina display. Get iBooks, even the wood in the bookshelf. Let's see, there's the text. I mean, again, it's not really something you can tell. It's not going to come across, but it is one of the main features of the iPad, so we had to cover it. Retina display on the iPad, third generation, is one of the, it is probably the main feature. Again, if you go back to apple.com here, I mean, there it is. They're showing off the iPad, and resolution area at the top, so they're really focusing on this Retina display here. And of course, there are other features like we just mentioned: the 5 megapixel camera, 4G LTE, the Retina display. We're going to go through each of these things very quickly to give you our overview of the iPad 3. All right, one of the other new features of the new iPad is 4G LTE, and we thought we'd give you a little speed test here. I'm just running the speedtest.net app, which is actually, as you can see, it's an iPhone app. So we just blow it up here because it's probably the best one to use. It's free and can test from multiple areas. So first, we're on Wi-Fi right now, and let's see if I can. Yeah, there you go. So you see we're on Wi-Fi. We're not on a 4G LTE at the moment. And we'll do a quick speed test on Wi-Fi just to get a benchmark here. So there you go. That's my Wi-Fi network. And we just got about 21 down, 14 up. And actually my speeds here at home are actually 35. You know, who knows what else is happening on my network right now. Obviously not everything is dedicated to the iPad. Now, what I'm going to do is leave Wi-Fi. With the settings here, I'm going to turn Wi-Fi off. So no more Wi-Fi. I'm going to go into cellular data and turn that on. Okay, now, not Wi-Fi, we're on cellular data, LTE. We're going to go ahead and do a speed test on that. Find our server, begin test. Now, as you can see, when you compare that, well, let me just turn that back on there. Compare that speed that we just got, 34 download, 10 upload. That is faster than what I just got testing on my home network. Let me go back to the results here. What did we get? A minute ago with my home network, we got 21 down, 14 up. Now we've got 34 down, 10 up. And what's interesting there is, again, my home network, it's a fiber optic. I have Fios here, 3535. But, you know, I'm sharing that with a bunch. I have a ton of devices on the network. We'll do one more 4G LTE test here. $38 down, 15 up. So as you can see, it's very speedy. Obviously, you have to be in a 4G LTE neighborhood, covered area to get those speeds, but fantastic speed. I'm out here in the suburbs north of Seattle, so I'm not even in Seattle proper, and I'm getting these fantastic 4G speeds here. It really does make a big difference when you're out and about on a mobile network that's that quick. That's basically as quick as your home network speed. It's very nice. We gave you a look so far at the Retina display. We gave you a look at 4G LTE, and now we're going to give you a look at Dictation, one of the other big features that Apple touted when they announced the new iPad. Now, we're assuming this one isn't as big a deal to many people. We're assuming not many people even know that the feature's there. So we're going to try to bring some light onto the feature and give you a look at how Dictation works on the new iPad. There's no Siri, it's just Dictation. Take a look. All right, guys, so like we said, I'm going to give you a look at the iPad's Dictation feature. And here I'm just running an app called iWriter. It's my favorite text editor app. And as you can see, when you bring up the keyboard, you now have the microphone down here that you'll find on the iPhone 4S. When you tap that button, a microphone comes up, and you should be able to just speak your words to the iPad rather than having to type them. So let's give it a try and see how it works. There it is. I just invoked the microphone feature. Dictation is now happening as I speak, period. When you speak, you need to also speak the punctuation that you'd like the iPad to input, period. Just like that, period. Also, as you can see, when I speak, the level in the microphone goes up and down to indicate that it hears me, period. And comma, that's pretty much it. We'll see how accurate the Dictation feature is as soon as I press down on the microphone button once more to finish. Actually, I didn't even get to finish right there. It just finished for me. So let's see what it looks like. It says, there it is. I just invoked via microphone feature. Dictation is now happening as I speak. When you speak, any thoughts will speak the punctuation that you like the iPad to input. Just like that. Also, as you can see, when I speak, the level in the microphone goes up and down to indicate that it hears me. And Dom, that's pretty much it. We'll see how accurate the dictation feature is as soon as I press down on the microphone button once more. So as you can see, it's not perfect. It didn't get everything I wanted to say. And some areas, like here, I said the iPad 2. I believe I meant TO, not the number 2. But you know, you can go in and clean this stuff up if you want to. But you know, it's fairly convenient. It's nice. It works. And that's one of the new features on the 3rd generation iPad. Dictation. Again, to invoke it, you just bring up a keyboard, press down on the microphone button right there, the dictation button, and you just begin speaking. And you also need to speak your punctuation, and when you're done, press it one more time, and it'll try and translate everything you said into text. So that's it. Hey everybody, Andrew Edwards here, and in this video we're going to be looking at the quad-core gaming on the new iPad, the iPad 3 if you want to call it that, but Apple's not calling it that, they're just calling it the new iPad. So quad-core gaming, I'm actually pulling up the games that I'm going to show you here today. The new iPad basically has an A5X processor, so it's still the same dual-core A5 processor, but with a quad-core gaming chip. And so that gives you more power for graphics-intensive games. And so we're going to show you in this video a look at things like Air Supremacy. That's kind of like it's an airplane flying game. We're going to show you Real Racing HD2. So all these games take advantage of the Retina display as well. So you've got the the super high resolution Retina display, and you've got these games that are powering it. Another game we're going to show you is Infinity Blade 2, which was upgraded to take advantage of the Retina display on the iPad. And again, these 3 games that we'll show you, they look amazing. They look fantastic on the iPad's Retina display. They take advantage of the quad-core game, and you can see that because just the graphics intensiveness and the things that are going on the screen. So take a look at this. It's the new iPad quad-core gaming demo. All right, so like we said, we're going to give you a look at quad-core gaming on the new iPad. And first thing we're launching here is Air Supremacy by Bandai Namco. And so yeah, we're just waiting for it to boot up. And again, the new iPad has a A5X processor. And that means it has the dual-core, A5 processor, but the X means it's got the quad-core gaming graphics. And here you see Sky Gamblers Air Supremacy launching now. It's a game where you're flying around in a fighter jet, doing battles in the air. And here you can see, look at the water down there. Look at the plane itself. Everything looks great. Shadows and all that. Let me just try to jump in to a game here. Never played this before, so I'm just navigating right now. So here I found the room. I'm just gonna choose something here and get in. There I am. As you can see, even at the behind the jets, you can look at the screen how it's there's the sky. Trying to navigate my way around. Again, it's my first time playing this. I'm just trying to show you how things look, and people around me probably think I'm crazy for going straight up and straight down. There it is. That's how it looks. It looks beautiful. Again, this game is Sky Gamblers Air Supremacy for the iPad. Okay, now we're going to take you into a different game. As soon as I find it here. Real Racing 2 HD. Now, Real Racing 2 is exactly what it sounds like if you haven't seen it. It's been one of the most popular games out there for the iPad. It's a racing game. You jump in a car, and you're racing around. Real Racing HD2. Look at that right there. It looks great. Again, takes advantage of that quad-core processor, as you can see. just the graphics. Again, this is full resolution on the new iPad, so this is, you know, much more than 1080p. And right here we go, this main menu. Just gonna hit a quick race. This one's locked up, so I gotta just start here. And here we are, Castellona Bay. Got my VW. And I'm ready. Now this game, you kind of have to grab it almost like a steering wheel. So there you see the view from inside my vehicle. Anywhere I tap, once it's not on the top right, there you go. Now I can change my view. And look at the ground, look at the cars around me, look at the sky, the background. I mean, this game looks fantastic. And I mean, the amazing thing is that it's not even going to come across, how good it looks won't come across to you because I'm recording this in 1080p, but the display is much higher than 1080p, so it's actually downscaled while you're watching it. So if you can imagine it looking about 4 times as good as it does on this video, I mean, it's stunning. Look at the shadows, the lighting. I seem to be doing fairly well here. You know, this really is like a console experience. This is some, I mean, it's an experience, and you can actually AirPlay this game either through AirPlay mirroring or through multiplayer. And you see my bumper is about to, oh, there it goes, the bumper's gone. Real-time damage. Let me just switch the view here so you can kind of see different perspectives. Look at the ground and the detail. Alright, so that was Real Racing HD 2. Again, take great advantage of the quad-core graphics on the new iPad. Now let's go into Infinity Blade 2. There it is. Epic Games. They make fantastic, dare I say, they make reference games for the iPhone, iPod Touch, and iPad. Their games are beautiful. And Infinity Blade 2 is no different. So here's its intro movie. Look at that. Look how that looks. Look at the buildings. Look at the lighting again. Well, here you go. Look at the build. Look at the lighting. Look at the trees in the background. The metal.
You do realize that now every
little trees in the background. Definitely a very engaging scene.
For that blade.
I'll find someone to help me. Maybe someone to take the sword off my hands. The worker of secrets.
The worker is a...
I did.
Let me try to skip past all this dialogue and get into the game here. And here we go. Time for battle. Look at me. I can look around. I can, you know, check things out. Now I'm ready for a fight. This guy's pretty upset with me. Next stage of the battle. Now I'm finishing him off. I took no damage. So again, take a look at that. I mean, I'm sure you noticed the graphics on that. It looked just great. And you need a powerful graphics processor to push all these polygons and pixels that the new iPad's Retina display has. So that A5X processor is definitely doing its job here. Here I can show off the environment, kind of look around. And there you go. That's your look at the A5X processor quad-core graphics on the new iPad. Alright guys, there you have it. You've got the lowdown on the new features, the best features on the new iPad. The only one we didn't really cover there is the camera, and that's really because the last iPad had cameras, and it's a tablet. I mean, how often are you going to be going around taking pictures and video? But I mean, it does do, the iSight camera here is a 5 megapixel shooter. It'll shoot 5 megapixel images, and it'll record movies in 1080p. That's really all you need to know. And it's fine. I mean, it looks fine. It's pretty much the same camera that was on the iPhone 4. And then up on front, you have the same camera you had last time. Just a FaceTime, not even a high definition camera. Just, it's good for FaceTime, but it'd be nice to see a high definition on the front there, at least 720p for FaceTime HD. But anyway, let's summarize it now. You've got the new display, the Retina display. It's absolutely amazing. If you haven't seen it in person, there's no way to explain it to you. You can't get a feel for it by looking at images of it. You can't get a feel for it by looking at video of it. And that's just because no one's recording video in the resolution that the new iPad displays itself in. So anything you look at video-wise is going to be downscaled. But just trust me, if you go to an Apple store or a Best Buy or a Radio Shack, wherever they have iPads, get your hands on it to see the Retina display, because it is absolutely fantastic. It is by far the display I've ever looked at. 4G LTE, as you saw, it's so quick as long as you're in a 4G environment. And by the end of this month, Verizon's going to have 4G LTE covering about 2/3 of the country. So AT&T is still ramping theirs up. They're only in a few markets, and so just because of that, if you really want 4G LTE, we're going to recommend that you go with a Verizon model. Just because AT&T's is so spotty, it's here and there. You're really going to be on 3G a lot of the time if you're not in an AT&T 4G area and staying in an AT&T 4G area. So if you travel, you never know where you're going to end up. Verizon will typically have a 4G signal for you, the LTE signal. Dictation, as you saw, it's a neat feature, and then that quad-core gaming, that can do a lot. It's really fun, and with AirPlay, you can AirPlay your games, either mirror them to your Apple TV. Some games just have AirPlay built in. Also very fun. So should you get the new iPad? If you're looking for a tablet, you're in the market, is this the one you should get? I really do say, yes, this is the tablet to get. Now, if you already own an iPad 2, it's a little bit of a different answer, because it's more about what do you want to spend. I mean, you can sell your iPad 2 and have some money, and then you have to pay the difference. Is it worth it to you to move from an Apple tablet to a new Apple tablet? And I would still say the Retina display itself makes it worth it, especially if you like reading on the iPad. The Retina display makes it so much better. But that said, if you own an iPad 2, it's really not that necessary to do so, unless you really want 4G LTE, unless you really need that. You can get by with what you've got with the iPad 2. It's just a fact. Unless you want what the Retina display has to offer, stick with the iPad 2. But if you have an original iPad, or if you don't have a tablet at all and this is something you're on the market, this is the tablet to get. $500, you get the best display you've ever seen. You get super fast 4G LTE. Well, I guess that'll be an extra fee. It's extra $130 if you want 4G LTE built in. So that is something to take into account. And plus you have to pay for the data packages as well. So it is an extra fee for 4G LTE. If you need that though, it's there. The screen is amazing. iOS 5.1, very refined, very fresh. And it's a great device, as you saw in the images. So should you get one? If you're in the market, we say yes. If you have no need for a tablet, then of course not. There's no reason to just get something just because it's out there. But if you feel like you need a tablet, you're in your market for one, you can do a lot with the iPad. The new iPad is fantastic. The Retina display is fantastic, and we can't say enough about it. So my answer Yes, I've been enjoying it. I've had all the iPads from the original through the new one. This is by far the best. The display is the best, and the fact that Apple's been hyping the display more than any other feature is spot on, because the display here is quite frankly a game changer. The things the nuances, the colors, there's nothing else out there like it, and that's just a fact. So that's it. That is our new iPad video review. We also have our full text gearlive.com if you want to check that out as well. Feel free to do so. Go ahead and let us know what you think. Go ahead and subscribe if you like this video. I know this was pretty much long. This is almost like a 30-minute TV show, but we really wanted to go dig deep and give you my full opinion on the new iPad. So again, you can find me on Twitter, twitter.com/Andru Edwards. That's where I'm at. Facebook.com/Andru if you prefer to connect on there. Of course, please do subscribe to us on YouTube, youtube.com/GearLive. You'll find all our videos there. We've got hundreds of them up there, and including this one. And that's pretty much it. Until next time, stay tuned for more tech news through the ads at gearlive.com. As I said, I'm Andru Edwards.